Guys, welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 2. Last time we began the post-game. This time we're back in the sewers. We are back on Second Miltia, and this one's kind of a dick move because this guy is already in the sewers. You have to go all the way in order to find him. If you didn't have a guide telling you where to go to talk to which people, you'd be kind of screwed because who would ever thought you need to go all the way inside an area that you've already done stuff in order to fix it. Well, admittedly, the guys outside will tell you that they think something's wrong, so I guess that's your hint to go in, but still, kind of a dick move. Anyway, I already showed you guys how to get in here a couple of times already, so I'm not going to show that again. I figured it was easier to just start the episode here. However, I will show you this process since I kind of fumbled over the process of showing you how to backtrack out last time. I think in editing I went and pointed an arrow toward the path you were supposed to take because I thought it was the same, but it wasn't. But by the time I had gotten through that part, I was done and I just needed to get out. So anyway, so you go down here, under this guy, to the left, up here, loop around. This is the thing that we made use of before. Down here, up here, down. No, I always do that. I always turn too soon. There we go. Now that we're already down here, before pressing that button, I would check your setup. Okay, we're all done setting ourselves up. For this party, I would recommend whoever has your lowest amount of CP and skill points, class points, specifically class points, because once you've gotten about 5,000 class points, if you've unlocked all the stuff that I've unlocked, then you're probably fine, since the only other one, we'll probably unlock these two, but we can finish those two right away. This one will be unlocking, but we won't be finishing. So make sure you don't unlock this one yet. But we also need to have enough class points for that, and I don't with everybody. So that's the main reason why I've chosen these three, because they're low on class points. They're also, ironically enough, low on skill points, so it works out. Now, boss upcoming, and this is my setup. I would recommend Hammer Coat. Boss uses nothing but hit attacks. Ether Burst is always very good. In fact, using a spell, an attacking spell in this fight is actually useful. Go figure. EP half, because we have Ether Burst. You could switch out swimsuits for revenge power if you feel the need to do that. I'm just leaving them in there because I don't really care. Hammer Coat, status resist 30. It doesn't get any status resist, but that's fine. It's not a huge deal anyway. And use the key we got. This one, this quest, there isn't much else left to explore. It's just the boss fight, and that's it. Hello. I'm getting Zelda flashbacks. Yep, definitely getting Zelda flashbacks. I gotta play Zelda again. It's been a while. Definitely gotta play some Zelda. Anyway, this guy. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Now, we have Wraith Feeler and Wraith Virus. If you notice in zone there's no question marks. You cannot break this boss, which is why I'm actually bringing Xion to a boss fight, because I can't really build up I could build up a longer chain. He's weaker to fire than he is to what Xion has, but I have other uses for Xion. Okay, so 200% to beam, 150 to thunder, 300 to fire, 150 to pierce, so bringing Momo Jr. could be very useful. And again, you cannot break him. You can also still steal skill upgrade E from the main boss. You can't break them either, but there's nothing to steal from them. They'll just drain EP and HP from you. This one will use hit damage and some status effects. So, first things first, in order to make this go by a lot smoother, we're going to use Xion to annihilate those two guys right off the bat. Because otherwise they're just going to be really annoying. So, oh crud. Yeah, we're just going to stock with these two for now. I want to get her killing them on a skill up slot. I'm not sure, do they give skill points? They really don't give that many skill points. That's probably not worthwhile. but I'm going to do it anyway because this gives me a chance to use Ether Spear, and so we're going to boost you. I don't think she'll have enough damage to one-shot them, but she's pretty close. So what we do is we have Fire Sword on, and then use Erde Quake. And I'm going to boost her again. So it was just barely not enough. So that'll work out. We'll be able to do that again. They're really weak to fire, so that really makes this an effective strategy. And we do some damage to the boss too, and times 10. Wow, that was worthwhile. Perfect. So now we want to stock with everybody. Of course, I have no boosts left. He loves to use heavy, which status resist is supposed to help me against, but maybe not. Xion will probably need somebody to stock for her because she's a little behind, and I'm going to need to use a lot of boost plus ones. He will eventually revive those feelers, so be aware of that. Almighty Calnus, that's what does that there. Last time he did not revive them nearly so soon, so that's kind of unfortunate. So I'm going to stock one on you, and then pretty much everybody will do boost one. And then I should be ready to buff up and go to her. Now, KOS-MOS and Ziggy will obviously be using fire. Xion, I will cast Fire Sword on her again, and I'll add to the chain with her and just use Erde Quake over and over again. And then right at the end, when I'm almost out of boost, that's when I'll unload her normal attacks, when it doesn't really matter, so I can get as many attacks in on the chain as I can. He can use boost one as well. I don't know why. I guess he can boost, but his little friends cannot. Okay, so one more boost plus one. And then set up Flame Sword on two of us, Attacker on two of us, and Ether Spear on you. And you can do Attacker. Now, he hasn't used it yet, but he can use a really powerful... Well, this hits everybody. But he can use another attack that's even stronger than that can almost two-shot Xion, which is not very helpful. It does quite a bit of damage, and I don't want to deal with it. And where's my Flame Sword? There it is. Now, so I got Attacker on everybody. You have Attacker. You do not have Attacker, so you need Attacker. Let's go. And then I think I just need Ether Sword on KOS-MOS there. And then I'm ready to annihilate the crap out of this guy. A lot of buffs, but because we can't break him, it allows us to deal more damage. So I'm going to wait until you get your turn. And then we're going to start with you. Now, there's no point in worrying about what type of attacks you're doing because pretty much all of it does the same. I'm not going to waste all of it right off the bat so that I can boost her again. And just going to hit the once with you. And then you. So we get some critical hits there. And then... let's see here, we'll boost you again. I'll unload all of yours. Should be pretty close to full. And let's see, we'll get one more with you. And we do a reasonable amount. I probably should have had Xion in this slot, but oh well. We'll have Xion on the next one, which is a critical one, which is nice. And we'll go like so. And then I should be able to boost her again. And if I cast... You could steal skill upgrade E if you want from this guy, but I'm not going to bother because I can just end this guy right now. And that continues my chain, and Erde Quake, and as long as that criticals, I think I win. Maybe. Ah, oh, come on! That was mean. Well, by me, but anyway. Now I'm all out of all my buffs, so probably should stock a little bit. In fact, I think I'll use Ziggy to finish it off, since Ziggy should be able to... Or I would have to do boost first. Ziggy, get ready to kill boss, please. Thank you. He should have enough damage. There he goes. And times 4. Not bad. Not bad.
The outcome was decided even before the battle began.
Well, yeah, I have strategy guide. And we got lots of skill points for that one, so that catches them up. So the only one who's left behind at this point is KOS, which isn't really a huge deal. And now that we've taken care of that, no cutscene, no nothing, but we still have to backtrack all the way. So I'll see you out there. I know I sound a little whiny, but seriously, how many times can you go through the same area? It's kind of ridiculous at this point. Yeah, I don't know how nanomachines became a Gnosis, but, you know. Now, that brings me to another point. If you'll notice, the Gnosis enemies that we fight in this game are pretty much most of the enemies we fight post-game are Gnosis, if not all of them. No, not all of them, most of them. We get Dakota 8, which is nice. But in addition to that, the Gnosis enemies we actually fight during the main plot of the game are almost entirely in the subconscious domain. It's not a real place. We pretty much stopped fighting Gnosis for this entire game. And considering how big of a point and big of an issue that was in the first game, it seems kind of weird that we've stopped that all of a sudden. Well, I guess that was another one of the criticisms this game had, because this game was definitely under a lot of fire for changing so much as it pertained to the battle system and the gameplay and everything compared to the first game. Anyway, enough talk about this. I will meet you over by the other professor's place, which is here in Second Nulcia in Sector 1. Okay, we're back. Now, I haven't really set up a different party, but the next dungeon we're going into is a mech dungeon, so I'd like to show my setup for that. Revenge, power, combo boost, status protection. The only other thing that we could really make that would be of any use is increased critical. That's entirely up to you. Both of them the same way, and of course Momo has EP half instead of one of her status resist ones. Doesn't really matter too much, because she probably won't be using that until boss time, but anyway, I set up the skills for that. I can't, since I don't have my mechs with me, I don't know what to, which combination of characters to use in the mechs, but anyway, Hakashin is the name of the professor. He actually has a name, even though everyone just calls him Professor. I'm not sure if this is a reference to something or what it's supposed to be, but basically you've got the light guy and the dark guy and the... Yeah, if you go into the database in episode 1, they talk about this University of Bormio being this really high-end thing. I think Alan and Shion have both graduated from it, as well as the professor, the other professor, and I think the dark professor, if they said that. Anyway, basically, we needed to talk to this guy, or girl, I don't know, to figure out what these sequencers were, so we could go to these forbidden devices and make use of them so that we can go to these bonus dungeons, so that we can get stuff, so that we can fight against the Dark Professor. So, yeah, they gave us that one, and more important, well, not really more importantly, equally importantly, they now unlocked this, I believe, or at least that's what they said, yeah. They unlocked this, but we can't use this one yet. This one, we don't have the correct sequencer for that one, so we can't do anything with that yet. In order to use the one that we got, we need to go back to Ormus, so I will dive there and see you in a moment. Okay, we're back, and I actually have Zebulon in the lead because she's pretty much the best mech all around for this area. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a problem. I can't get the setup I wanted because the best character to use in pretty much all the mechs as a secondary is Jin. And unfortunately, I cannot duplicate Jin. Otherwise, this would be a lot easier. I will get into that in a moment, but there's only 2 enemies, or, well, actually I think there are only 2 enemies, save for the boss in the next area. But there are 2 enemies, and they're pretty damn strong. Pretty much every fight's like a mini-boss around here. This is the desert. And if anyone else is getting flashbacks from Xenogears, you're not alone. They basically ripped this entire area right out of that game, and it's not like you go through the same areas, but it's pretty much exactly the same idea as the Dune Man Isle from that game. Anyway, before going any further, let's show off some of the stuff. So the two enemies around here, one of them is weak to Aura, Ice, and Pierce. The other one, Thunder, Pierce, and Slash. Now, the one that's weak to Aura, Ice, and Pierce is also weak to Ether. So, having Golden Bow is a great combination for that one. However, the other one that we'll want to deal with is weak to Slash and Pierce, but not really any element in particular. A little bit to Thunder, but no additional damage from hit, and the only way we can do Thunder damage is alongside hit. So Ice Rondo would also be very good to have, and if I was to set it up ideally, I would want Golden Bow with you, and then I would want Twin Dragons with you because it's short, slash, and it's physical. And that second one that is weak to Slash is also weak to physical. I can't get that, so my party is not really designed around doing lots of damage to both, but mainly so that Golden Bow gets off quickly and I eliminate one of the enemies, because a lot of the battles will have one of each. And the other one is I have Asher set up with a piercing attack, so that is alright. And this is just a physical attack. It's not really all that good. It's just pretty much all I have left, since the only other option is Ether, and that's not particularly good for that particular enemy. Anyway, so that's my setup going in here. The way this works is you attack little sandstorms and you can get some items. Now, I will show off one of these battles before we go too much further, but yeah, we're not going to get super far today. A lot of these things just die. Does that one have an item? That one does have an item. Nano Repair, nice. Most of the enemies, like I said, around here are pretty powerful. Some of them do hide in these things, and look, I kind of want to go up there because there's stuff up there, but I can't just yet. In order to do that, I think I need to shut that off. Blow up that one. And let's blow up this one, because that one's got an enemy in it. Okay, first things first, run away. Because if you're pincered like that, you're gonna die. These enemies are not easy by any stretch. Okay, never mind that fight. That bite, no matter how many times I run away, is always a pincer attack, so I'm just going to avoid that altogether, because that's just going to end up getting me dead, and I don't need that. Anyway, there's some other stuff we can grab around here, and there's a not bullshit battle that I won't end up dying on. And we get some more junk there that I don't need, and, well, we can show this off now, why not? There we go. Didn't get pincered this time. Of course, I'm only fighting one of them this time. This is our somebody. This is the this guy looking one, because, you know, this is the one that's weak 150% to Aura, 200 to Ice, and 250 to Pierce, while being weak to Ether. Which is why Golden Bow is such a great choice here. Normal attacks, you might as well go for the Pierce if you got you in there. Does a reasonable amount of damage, but you really are gonna you really are going to need to rely on your specials in here, because these enemies do quite a bit of damage. Still can't one-shot them, but I think normal attack, maybe? Ooh, not bad. Of course, she had an Ether slot show up, and her attack is Ether-based. But these guys, if you run into two of them, give quite a bit of experience, and there are two different types. Now, we got the decoder from a last quest there, so let's make use of that right now. Segment address number 8. This leads to something that I could run out to do. That's the last and final piece of the, whatever that is, the Urtikaiser robot. And you can go back to talk to the professor dude if you want. Can I get on? There we go. And you'll get Urtikaiser for it, and I'll go into that next time. The other thing to do, as I was saying, if you run into 2 of them, you get 5,500 experience. I don't think you run into the second one out here, and your normal attacks, if you're using these 2, can actually do a reasonable amount of damage since they're so weak to piercing attacks. You can use whatever you want, but the fact that you can fight those 2 guys, assuming you get 2 in the battle, sometimes you get 1, sometimes 2, go back here, run in the door, respawn the enemy, you can actually grind up your mechs relatively easily. And I'm reasonably leveled, but I'll probably do a little bit of this, maybe not right now, but before I go too much further. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I can do for today. There's no enemy in that one, is there? Okay, good. And is there an item in this one? Oh, I already got that item. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much all we can do for today. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.